village that has a lot of these other locations that players are used to maybe dropping, such as Rohan Oil. A lot of people choose that as their POI. Will they be able to play it? Only time will tell, because we got map number 2 locked and loaded.
Here we go. Map 2 of 6. Get ready for an awesome drop. Right, Tiff, the plane is flying, players are dropping. Hey, you called it. This is a pretty solid circle, if I do say so myself. You get most of our major POIs in play, and look at all those teams headed up to the north-hand side, up to Al Mazrah City. That's likely going to be a place you're going to see a lot of big gunfights, but they're going to be what I call the quagmire fights. You can fight the same team for 10 minutes straight in Al Mazrah City if you're not careful. So we'll see some of our teams drop there, and then we'll see some of our teams fully split and hang out on the edge of the map. Look at Brolic, Jesus, and Mutex. Looks like they're not alone all the way here on the edge of the map, and this is about par for the course when it comes to the beginning of these Warzone lobbies. Oftentimes you're going to see yourself contested in multiple locations. Tim, I know we were talking to some of the players. Just about every team has about 2 to 3 major drops that they go for. Likely this is the same drop that both of these two teams have been working on for a while.
They would know exactly the teams that are going to be dropping, and if you are contesting a location, this is a really nice, maybe non-typical POI location just outside of the city. On north, there's usually a buy station here, and Brolic able to grab a nice shield crack, reposition. He does have some decent ground loot weapons available to him, which is nice, but you have to keep shifting your POV of where these players are going to be, because likelihood is you don't have good shield counts. You see there's only a couple extra, so you have to be very conservative and take off angles.
Yeah, here we go. Brolic was a bit split from his team, but it doesn't look like he's been sniffed out just yet. Colony and Waldo are swapping across. I got to shout out Colony and Waldo. They had a fantastic last year World Series of Warzone. They were inside the top 10, just barely making it in from a massive effort from Waldo. We'll see if he'll be able to get picked up, but Mutex is on the high ground, so they're kind of playing a pinch maneuver here, but Colony is pushed into the building with his team triple stacking, so this is going to be a very tough fight to win unless you've got those lethals, which it doesn't look like they have currently. Mutex might try to take an angle and grab a pick and try to even up the tally a little bit.
Yeah, but with Waldo and co kind of death-balling inside the building, it can make for one of those quagmire fights like you were saying. You're wasting time here if it's not a good push. Now the question is, can they get Brolic back reunited with Mutex and make that push last a little bit longer? But coming on over, we have Juice Season to your left, Hollywood taking some peppering shots to hold that high ground. But you want to make sure that what you do best is get your loadout. Even if you buy one weapon on a contest, it will turn the tides, as you can see here. Venucci, I think that's the Rap H. Not a bad weapon to get off drop, but you really have only one Semtex to work with, which actually isn't bad considering what we saw from Mutex and co.
Yeah, these are linchpin fights. This could take your game from an 18-point game to a 36-point game. As you can see at the top of the leaderboard, is if you grab those early eliminations. Can't stay too long, of course. You want to set up for the in-game and don't lose out on positioning. But if you can grab a couple team wipes early, you're going to be feeling fantastic. That's exactly what Juju did, by the way. Kill leader from map 1 had 12 eliminations. You've got to find the early kills. And speaking of early kills, here's Go Clamp looking for one. That's a freebie if I've ever seen it. Luckily able to grab not only one, but actually a full team wipe against one of our other, I think, Latin America focused streamers. I think that was Skyros on the other side, falling and being sent to the gulag. Shout out to some incredible content creators that got invited in today. Hopefully they can compete as well and win their Gooches and get back.
Oil looks to be a hotbed of activity. We've got Ken's Rosie's team here, DZ and Badges as well, engaging here with Johnny Bro. And they have found themselves in such a unfortunate situation. DZ already in the gulag, and it looks as if Chocolate and co are just going to swarm and send the last member. But this would be a strong moment for Ken's Rosie and co to kind of push in and maybe take advantage of a third-party situation. But everyone loves a good movement king, and Joewo and Bridgman are on the way in.
Joe's found one knock. He's going to be able to back up and replay. This is a big take here from Joewo, Bredman, and Limax. They need a better score than the last time. Mediocre at best, around middle of the pack or so from what we could tell. They've got low ground positioning, but Looks like there's two different teams here. This is a fun POV look at the free cam. You got Aydan, Rated, and Adrian forcing Joewo, Breadman, and Limax out. Raid is going to try to grab a pick and at least stifle any momentum that trio is able to do. Smartly, they leave. They say, we can't win this fight without losing most of our players, if not all of us. A great backup. And hiding in the room, it looks like Runaway Statue was in there for a little while. Not anymore, sorry. And I would love to see his perspective on that from a stream. You want to check him out, please do. Hilarious content creator. Probably not having a great time between those two squads.
It's okay. Whatever intro he records for his TikToks later are going to be so positive until it goes right into the chaos. But back to oil. It seems as if Ken's Rosie still looking to find an off angle to maybe continue this engagement. But now it's Chronicle, Sitrep, and Sandu that have also moved in here. You've got a sniper in hand, a mortar strike to work with. Drill charges coming in are going to prove to be a burden to work with.
This is one of the squads that has been trying to earn a spot in any tournaments they can get their hands on. They're very talented, but they're outclassed currently. That's a full wipe from the side of, I believe, Chrissy's squad. Perfect execution, perfect trades. When you have the player advantage, you have to push the equation. That's exactly what Chrissy's team was able to do. We're going to get another free camp shot here. And again, Noobs and Allman and Tommy separated more than most, covering different angles, trying to grab some eliminations or two. And it looks like Tom was able to do at least that one off screen. J-Tech fighting a different squad here on the left side of the screen.
Ooh, that's when you know there's a lot of more POIs that are able to be utilized just given the nature of where this zone is pulling. And Crowder,
oh, no.
This is not a good position, my man. I need you to turn around because the squad is rolling up, and just like that, deleted and sent to the lobby. Hopefully he has maybe a gulag to work with. But we were talking about those engagements and Juju not being scared to chow anyone, and it's why they have found themselves with so many points, third overall coming into map number 2. They're looking to carry that momentum forward.
Hey, we love Classic. We love Asim. We love Crowder. They're in a tough position here looking at this stronghold. This is going to be one of those major fight points that you see near early game is who controls the strongholds, who gets their loadouts quickly. So likely you're going to see teams pushing these strongholds often in order to grab their loadout weapons or anything in between, tempered, etc. All of those types of things are super important and crucial to your success. Every team I talked to today was saying the same thing, Tev. Stay together, be on the same page. But the final note we haven't talked about as much is that resource management key. If you can get your durable gas mask, if you can get that kind of tempered armor vest, if you can get a ton of smokes and drill charges, you're going to have a much higher percent chance of winning your gunfights.
Those are all incredibly valid points, and which is why those strongholds, the black sites, if you're willing to risk it, sometimes those black sites can be, let's just go ahead and say those AIs are a little diffy in the black side, but you get so much valuable utility. You have an advanced UAV, potentially. You're going to get all those tempereds. And we last checked in with Iceman Isaac. He was going down at the hands of Tommy. So it seems like he's made it back into the game, and Future has game. No, Future's got high ground.
Future's got a lot of things. This is a great bird's eye view. We don't even need the free cam. Let's just hang out on Future's perspective. But we're going to keep checking in on the teams below them. One of those, of course, Cheddar Brothers plus Adrian. Aydan and Rated lurking around the corner. Observatory can be one of the best POIs to take advantage of and dominate because, of course, you've got high ground just about any way you look at it. You can fly to a different POIs depending. Well, Bonk's in trouble, so it's just Future on top of one of our massive buildings on Observatory, and is probably just going to hang out here for a very long time. So you can take a look out on the right hand side of your screen, all the scores, and as they're coming in, something to keep in mind too, if you think back to the qualifiers, Tiff, our average score for the top 25, which is again one of those metrics we're talking about because we're also looking at spots for stage 2, our average score per game was only 12.56 out of the top 25 teams, but the team at the top of qualifiers had a score of about 23.4 overall. So if you can breach that 20-point metric per game and stay consistent, you're likely going to see yourself well into the money in qualifying. Speaking of well into the money in qualifying, this team certainly trying to be able to do so. The top Slayer from the last game doing a lot of the same, chowing everything.
Hey, look, that's what he said. He's going to keep living up to everything as that team gets absolutely eviscerated. Now, De Niro, Juju, and Locksteel can turn their attention onto what is next. And let's talk about some of the ways as the circle starts to close and you can see more of our teams are pulling up towards the north. What are some of those key items that teams could essentially look for to maybe find out where teams are? That's, hey, counter UAVs popping up on the map. That's airstrikes in the distance. That's, hey, they're doing a stronghold over there, or you pick up bounties. Just loads of way to find information and keep that aggression moving forward.
Yet a big note when we took a look at that map for just a moment was Locksteel's team, that Juju squad that made their way all the way to second place in map 1. They got a long way to go on this rotation. There's a lot of teams they have to fight through. So this is kind of a high-risk rotation. It paid off last time. It's paying off again in theory if they can execute the same level of consistency. Now, I just saw Noob's name about 30 times in the kill feed, so likely TBE is also doing a lot of the same. Talk about a consistent team. That's one we're going to be keeping our eyes on all day today. You're likely going to see them in the top 3 most of this entire tournament unless something goes catastrophically wrong.
Yeah, that was a full wipe onto Lucky and Exact's team, so unfortunate for them, but Noobs completely annihilated them. Now you can see Sitrep's team is going to fall out as well. As we jump on over, we get a little bit more information, because not only are you looking for the top 25 to advance into more further along into the World Series of Warzone, but you get cash. There's $150,000 on the line, and Almond just playing with fire here, drops the Claymore, hoping that Royalize will chase him, but this is going to give him a little bit of time to cover, and now Noobs is able to follow suit, and they can death ball up the stairs.
This is something they've done a million times, it feels like. They know how to play the trades. They know how to grab those eliminations. And we're going to interrogate, because we'd like to know, hey, Royalize, do you have any teammates alive? Let's see where they are on the map, right? You talked about information gathering tools. That's certainly a fantastic way to do it. Now, looks like a couple other teams in this area. We got to talk about the kill number here. We've got Almond at least on 3, and I believe just about everybody on TBE has a couple. If you're looking at close to double-digit elims already with still 44 teams up, this is the makings of an amazing game.
Ooh. I really hope we keep pulling further north. I'm not gonna lie, OP marked over there are just on the right. Studley's team to the left. I saw Studley a lot in the elimination feed, finding some action, and they want to keep that moving forward. J-Devise as well has been popping off, finding some good eliminations, but that's gonna be on to Clamp. So that's where things are going to get interesting, because we were talking about Clamp, Sage, Biffle earlier being a very heavy hitting, and if you're already running into some issues, we're hoping that teams have not burned their gulag, because still 42 squads remaining. Oakboy, Almighty, TJ, JC Baby, they're trying to find a building that's going to suit them for the end game.
Yeah, and yet again, it looked like DBZ off screen was able to pick up our FaZe squad, so that's a back-to-back elimination from DBZ on FaZe. But let's take a look at this action. Smixy's finding one. Zepti's on the other side, and Classic Pain's nowhere to be seen. These are these moments you look back on and you say, are these fights even worth taking? Let's just split and one of us try to stay alive. Somebody try to draw the aggro. It looks like Zepti's doing that. They're going to let Classic Paint get out of dodge and try to stay alive. This is a great strategy when you are at a massive disadvantage. You've got to stay alive. That's the key to success. Stay alive till the end. Anything can happen. We saw it with Shifty, right? Last alive with just a pistol, was bought back, still won the game.
Gosh, I would have never thought that staying alive in a battle royale would be the key to success, but thank you, my man, for enlightening me. No, I'm just kidding, but you know how it is. It's win your ones, it's hit your shots,
absolutely.
Stay alive, and Rated pushing into this building. They're getting peppered from afar, so there are 2 teams that know where they are. Actually, one just a little bit split. So how do you navigate this? Maybe isolate those fights as you were talking about earlier, and this is a big fight. That's gonna be DJ Moss, so we've got Team Ebates and Team Aydan, Rated, and Adrian, or the Cheddar Brothers plus Adrian, as you would say.
Yeah, exactly. So Team 27 is the team we're looking at. That's Team Ebates. They got 2nd overall in the qualifiers. So the team that Dandra was shouting out quite a bit. Z-Smith, of course, top fragger. DJ Moss not far behind. Ebates has really a student of the game. And this is such a fun encounter. I want to kind of hang out here for a moment just to see if they decide to elect to push this fight. This is the old guard versus the new guard. These are some of the most storied Jedi Master Warzone players with Aydan and Rated versus some of the new guard players, these students of the game. And the students are trying to become the masters here in World Series of Warzone. Excited about that fight if it comes to a head later. Looked like DJ and Ebates were going to push out and maybe readdress a fight, or maybe push to a new location to set up for the end game.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how they approach that end game, but this is a squad that we were kind of talking about a little bit in map number 1, Waldo Colony, and you can see J-Devise. They're pushing into tents, which is going to run the gauntlet of them mirroring the team that is just in front of them. They want a good line of sight, and they're not going to have it just from there, but as we pull out, we can really really start to see how this is. Both teams are running head on towards each other. You just have to keep your eyes out because Sebas is a little split from his duo there on the other side, but do not get singled out here.
2 out of 3 of these players that he's going against did get Knighted World Series of Warzone, and they're certainly going to get the better of him there. That's a massive player advantage on Sebas, who tried to push the equation just a hair too far. There is something to be said about one aggro player that can go get a pick and get out. Unfortunately, I don't think Colony, Waldo, or Trek are going to move more than 5 paces away from each other. So that's another quick trade. And speaking of staying alive, Diazbiffle says, I think we lose this fight if Mr. Daft doesn't take us. Almost is able to do that with the shotgun traded into the AR. Whoa, I thought that was just a free and clear win, and all of a sudden Daft is going crazy.
Look, that's the second time we have seen Daft in a little bit of a trouble, breaks out the broadside and completely eats through people. Now, this is why all of our players here were discussing, do we run that Lockman or do we be evil and pull out the broadside? Breadman was hitting up Ebates just this morning. Hey, man, what's the broadside loadout? And Ebates was like, no hi, no good morning, no nothing, just my loadout. And it was like, hey, I mean, there's a tournament on the line, right? And the question is, did Ebates share the loadout?
Likely no. I will say that. I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Daft. That was an incredible play to stay alive. Diazbiffle was in the same brain wavelength as me, by the way. It was good luck, my man. I'm out of here. I'm keeping our team alive and not getting team wiped. And then Daft goes crazy and Waldo's team backs up and we get the res and we got 2 people still left. Like, that's insane. So keep an eye out for that team. Daft's going crazy, keeping people up. Other side, finally, DBZ on our screen. Destroy and clutch milk at the very least. And I think Zlaner not... Oh, yeah, right there, right in the mix. This team, same... Tiff, I asked a lot of teams what their key to success were. Every single team says we got to be on the same page. We got to listen to each other. This is one of those teams that when they're on, they are on. They're one of the best teams in the game. But when they're off, oof, it can be rough. Let's take a look at the dead or alive tracker. You can see Karma's out yet again. I wonder if he got hunted in the water this time around. Mayapo, Autorize, 4, and Jace are out already as well. You see Braxton out, Mutex out. These are some big teams out early with a couple players on a couple other squads out and maybe a few solos. OP Mark's gonna be ratting out for a long time trying to get his teammates back, but looking pretty good thus far on the dead or alive tracker.
That's the most interesting thing about this, is if you lose full and you're down to a solo this early on, those buy stations are not going to be safe. And a portable will be so highly coveted and hunted at the same time. But Diazbiffle still finally kind of meeting his end there in the Olympian, Rated and co. Adrian, we were talking about him a lot. And I asked Dandra, I was like, why has this name not really been super familiar to me? And he's 18. He's just really running the gauntlet of these Activision back tournaments. We've seen him in as many tournaments as he's been able to get his hands on, but this is like his first foray in a very large tournament of this magnitude. $150,000 on the line today, backed with Aydan and Rated. It's a scary squad.
No, that's exactly right. Adrian's a player to watch for sure. Kind of breached into that being 18 years old. Has $34,000 earned, I gotta say, on the Twitter tournaments. He's a reaper. This guy's different. There's a reason Aydan and Rated picked him up. The question is chemistry today. Will they be able to do it? Back to Chrissy's squad, looking for a few drill charges through the wall. Kittens, Chrissy, H-Mate, one of our women-only teams. Excited to see them compete. They've been playing fantastic thus far. Need several more eliminations to make some of these multipliers come into play. Speaking of those multipliers, howdy do. See ya, Huskerrs. See ya, Irrational Scum, and all of the above. That's a nice little squad wipe. And unfortunately for Huskerrs coming in Rapture, things are not going their way this tournament.
Hey, yo, but the ladies turning up. I talked to Ken's this morning and she's like, we're feeling good. Our shot is on point, but she's not a real big morning person, right? So she just hadn't woken up yet. She goes, when I wake up though, I'm gonna be shooting missiles. And well, you're living up to your name there.
Hey, I like the ego chow from HB in particular there. They know they have player advantage and they're going to catch these opponents unaware. It's a perfect push, perfect trades. That's what we mean by saying playing your trades and playing together. Stacking as a unit is incredibly crucial, especially for close range gunfights. If Huskerrs would turn around the other way with a broadside, maybe you don't win it. It's looking down lane and gets picked off. All right. You see Goat Clan kind of lurking in the shadows over there. There's a lot of teams about to get involved. We're down to 69 total players in the lobby currently. FaceScope, well, was alive for a moment, but the Reaper has reaped, as they say.
The Reaper has reaped, my man, just hitting his shots with those explosive round snipers. That's like such a fun fun thing to do. There's nothing more fun than sniping in Warzone, but you have to have your shots on point if you're gonna do it here in Colony. You hear the suppression mine in the background, just trying to navigate and stay alive, but that door is gonna open and another team is inhabiting that building. So back over the ledge you go, and you are gonna be downed at the hands of Biffle. Can your teammates watch over you? I don't know. Waldo, what you got for me?
Waldo's trying. Was able to drop one of the leaders, actually the current leader on our leaderboard. That was Nofo and Dongi. They're still up on the other side. Look to be in a little bit of a revive blender. Looks like Scummin has not been wiped yet. Huskerrs back into the mix as well. Waldo's going to try to hunt him down. It's a fun fight to take with several other players around. You can see Daft off in the distance as well. Scummin ratting out. Won't rat out for very much longer. Unrational and Scummin are trying to grab, Huskerrs rather, are trying to grab their loadouts, but Trek Waldo in trouble as Mr. Daft yet again is going big for this squad. This man cannot be taken down.
He is ever living, but they were able to get the buyback on the squad. That's what they were pushing so hard for inside of Oil. That buy station is literally surrounded by 6+ teams. And check out Brittany Reigns, Valid, and Z-Jelly over here on your left-hand side. They're using the dunes as cover. And I like that for them because they're not going to get caught up in the chaos. But if you can survive the chaos like TBE, they're taking on Nico, Infinite, Desmond, Frozone. You need to survive here because this is where you pick up those engagements, those elims, and you've got to survive.
This is a big moment for TBE yet again. Almond is sitting on 7, looking for 8, unable to connect. But it's got a great position. I really like TBE's position. Let's take a look at that zone. Top left corner quickly. Look at where the cover is. It's all on the edge. Everything in the center is out in the open with some dunes and maybe a chain link fence. Good luck. Snipers are going to go galore. Late game durable gas masks are everything. Here's our map 1 victors. They're looking for a few more eliminations this time around. Shifty's on 5 and Skullface is on 4. That's 9 already. They're already even with their score from last time. Huskerrs, Unrational, somehow still up only for a moment. This is a massive fight in this building, Tim.
Yeah, we're well into that points multiplier. So all teams alive thus far, 1.4x. But can you make it towards that next zone? It's gonna be chaotic. And when you've got Triple S in the same building with Breadman, then you have Limax. It's just not where I want to be personally, but I'm so happy for all those players inside because it's going to go big. And with Tommy having the sniper in hand, he can be able to throw down some damage, but jumping out into the open like that, not where you want to be. But the smokes are going to come in and be so highly coveted here. 1, 2 spare. Hopefully your teammate can really help you out.
Hey, there's phase 2. Let's see if he stays alive for more than a second. Nope, not in this moment. Decent map from them thus far. Still could grab several multiplier points here, especially if they make it to the next one. Tommy eco tallying no cover in front, but plenty behind. He's going to have to play together. Super Evan trying to enact some revenge. This is going to be a tough fight, but all 3 alive. They know they have player advantage. They know they got to push the equation. There goes Colors. Looking for Super Evan as well to wipe this team. Limax might try to grab a piece of this action shortly. And I think TBE's worried about behind them. They're not trying to get wiped, especially as Almond goes down by Rated from behind. This is a must-push scenario. They've wiped Super Evan, and now it's all up to noobs. No. Adios, amigos. TBE is out of there. Still a great map from them at 11th overall.
Well, with a new Codcaster, it gives you the story of how Limax and Aydan's team were able to completely sandwich TBE. Now Rated on board with them. They want to take their shots at Limax and Joewo. You're going to get peppered from the right. You have to have situational awareness. And when a lot of these zones pull to such open areas of Al Mazrah, it is tough. Joewo has become one with the jungle. The only remaining shrubbery that has withstood and finesse and was going to try to pull a shifty from game 1, but gonna get downed and tagged by Squad 22 on your screen. Aydan and Adrian are 2 last standing members. We know these names. We know they're gonna kill it, and they are just pushing the issue and running forward.
Non-stop action. You have to win those third-party situations. You can set yourself up for success. Trek is going big right now. 7 total eliminations, but gets taken out by Aydan, gets taken out by Adrian. Guess what we got? Is that Swagg? Who is that? Is that FaZe? No, that's Donkey! Donkey's back alive! Falls to his death to not give away a free kill. How is Doggy still up? Jelly in the storm goes down. The team at the top does get inside the top 3, Tiff, but it came down to the Cheddar Brothers -1 to win that victory, and you called it perfectly. They pushed the flank near flawlessly, picked up a couple teams, won that final scenario out in the open on the right-hand side to take the major piece of cover, and then they had player advantage all the way through to the finish line.
Oh, let's take a look at Aydan here.
I love this replay. They were fried.
Look at him trying to dolphin dive out of the way, bro. You can't hide from Aydan. He's gonna hunt you down.
Gotta give flowers to Scubbin, by the way, for still somehow making his way into the top 5. This is a crazy replay. I love that we get a chance to look between the podcaster and the replay back and forth to see some of the streamer POVs. Aydan did a fantastic job here at the end to clean it up. Here's that final reaction. Woo, big game.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were gonna see something wild, because every time I tune into Aydan's stream, I see some interesting things. My man has a personality like no other. So congratulations to Team Aydan, Rated, and Adrian. Massive win there for game number 2.
Yeah, I think it was 18. So times 2, quick math, 36 points.